Joby Aviation investors, this one is very important. You must watch this before the Q4 earnings. Let's now see what we have to expect. So guys, there hasn't been much news around Joby Aviation lately, and I don't know if that's good or bad. So it made me do a dive into the Q3 earnings call and take a few notes. So I've came up with a presentation on what to expect in the Q4 earnings to see are we still on track for commercialization in 2025. If you want to see the Q4 earnings live, make sure to smash that subscribe button because we're going to stream it right here on the Hustle Brothers. Anyway, let's get right into this presentation. Now, forgive me for being so small in the corner, but I just don't want to cut out much of the words in this presentation. Right, we're going to get right on over to it. So I'm going to get the boring stuff out of the way first, so then we can focus on the exciting stuff as we get along. So first of all, we want to see the certification progress. So Joby has advanced in FAA certification as of Q3 24, and they have moved to 21% completion on the FAA side. We want to know particularly, have they moved beyond this since they've last reported it? Then the FAA and international certifications. There was a mention of applications for certification in Australia, but how is this going? What about the validations in other companies like Japan, like the UK? This was spoken about in the earnings call. And most importantly, what about Dubai? When do we expect to see them in Dubai? And then do we expect to see them in Dubai first or the US first? Then we can move on to manufacturing milestones. So in regards to production prototypes, we now have confirmation there's a fourth that has been produced. Is there going to be a fifth prototype, or are they just happy enough with what they're doing? We need to know about how these prototypes are being used for both certification and operational learning, including any insights on cost efficiencies or quality improvements. Then we need to know about production capacity. We were told the goal was to reach production capacity of one aircraft per month by the end of 24, and that would be significant. Is there any news on have they met that target, or are they adjusting constantly going into 2025? We then need to know the insights into further efficiency gains, cost reductions, and how the Toyota involvement is impacting production rates and quality. Then we can move to the commercialization strategy. Are we going doing the same as Archer Aviation? And are we going to the Middle East first, like Dubai? Or are we going to reach the US? We know Joby's strategy includes direct operation, sales techniques like, now guys, forgive me for this, but Mukamala, and partnerships with Uber and Delta. But we want to hear a little bit more about these partnerships, especially Uber, because I am an investor in Uber myself. I want to hear about new deals, especially in new markets, or with significant partners. Or is that why we're getting no news? Because there is none. Then we really need to hear about the hydrogen electric demonstration. So while it's not immediately a concern for commercialization, the hydrogen electric flight, which happened all the way back in June, demonstrates the future of potential for Joby. I just want to clarify on how this technology fits into the long-term plan versus the immediate business goals of the eVTOLs. Then going across to one of the most important for us investors, financial health. So with the cash position, with the recent investments including the expected Toyota tranches, we need to know how Joby's cash reserves are shaping up and whether they're on track with the cash burn rate within the projected 440 million to 470 million in 2024. Guys, let me know, do you think they'll be in these parameters or have we spent a little bit more? Then we need to know about the net loss and revenue. We need an update on whether the net loss has decreased or if there's any new revenue from operations, government contracts, or partnerships. And guys, I'm really excited to hear, are there any new partnerships on the horizon? Then we need to know about the adjusted EBITDA. I'd also like to know how the adjusted EBITDA loss has evolved, considering the previous quarter's figures. And then with revenue streams, I've highlighted this before, so I need more clarity and insight into potential revenue from S4 sales, service operations, or government contracts, and it would be valuable to us. Then if we move to technology and innovation, so I need to hear about Elevate OS. I don't think it's being pushed out enough. We need updates on the operational readiness and integration of their in-house developed airline operating system across their planned services. If Uber's involved, guys, we need to know all about this Elevate OS platform. Then with autonomy and hydrogen, again, while it's not immediate, the work on the autonomy through the X-Wing acquisition back in the middle of the year and hydrogen technology could signal Joby's direction towards future market expansions or product lines, so we do need colour on this. Then we need to look at the focus versus the diversion. Are they looking to pivot just like Archer have with Archer Defence? So there was a comment made on maintaining focus on certification while exploring new technologies. I want reassurance on how Joby is managing these new projects and competing priorities without diluting their core mission. And then, what do I want to hear from the analysts themselves? So, the types of questions I'd like to be asked are, what are the next steps in the certification process? And when do we see these significant milestones? Guys, it is now 25. We want to know, when are we going to be certified? Then we want to know, how are the manufacturing efficiencies translating into cost savings? And what's the timeline for scaling production? Can they provide more detail on the commercialization roadmap, especially for the international markets? Guys, we're starting to hear a lot from Archer Aviation lately about their push into Abu Dhabi. It doesn't seem to be the same with Joby. Are they prioritising Dubai, or are they just going headfirst into that US market? And then what are the current research and development priorities? And how are they balanced with the primary focus on getting the S4 certified? Guys, it's a bit like, I don't want them completely focusing on hydrogen until they get the S4 certified. It was a bit like Archer Aviation. I wasn't too fond of this hybrid eVTOL aircraft until they get the actual eVTOL certified. So guys, is there anything you would add to this? Or is there any questions you would ask the analysts? We are the biggest Joby Aviation community here on YouTube. So make sure you join us for the earnings, because I'm going to drop it here, and make sure you hit that notify bell to speak to me live.